So when we talk about modals, immediately we can look into this. That should fall into your mind. Means focus. We have to focus on these things. Will, shall. These two, or rather I can say will, it tends to change the tense of the verb. I will go. Right? It talks about the future. Actually, talking about future using will is what we can say, it has been restricted. But most of the future things we can express through simple present and present continuous. I am going there tomorrow. I am going there tomorrow. It is not wrong, it is very correct. I will go there tomorrow. Very rarely we have to use it. Right? This road gets inaugurated tomorrow. It gets inaugurated tomorrow. Gets, simple present. The Prime Minister visits England in the coming week. Prime Minister visits England the next week. Means the simple present, present continuous, these are to be used to express future tense. Here using will, I will go there. It has been restricted. Why? That is what we are discussing now. It has been restricted usage of will and shall. Why restricted? Because we can use simple present tense, present continuous tense to express the future tense. And hence in English you can see only present, past. Thereafter comes past participle, present participle, then infinite. No future tense for any verb. Why? We can comfortably express using simple present tense and present continuous tense. That is the idea. Then in the long run, the modal verbs will and shall have been taken to express future. Have been taken to express future. Accepted. Right? So, let us see will with I and shall with I. Will with he, shall with he, what it brings about. I will go there. I will go there. Means the work is more than 80%, 90% the work will be done. I will go there. Means there is a higher possibility when we use will. Possibility I am talking about, you see. The will and shall talks about the possibility. Higher possibility. Right? And when I say I shall go there, there it is a very weak possibility there. I shall go there. And I will translate these two sentences for you. मैं जाऊंगा, मैं वहां जाऊंगा. Means what? It happens. Next one is मुझे वहां जाना है. मुझे वहां जाना है. I shall have to go there. I shall go there. Will it happen? Doubtful. So, I shall, it may not happen. I will, it happens. Means very strong possibility, very weak possibility here. Will and shall we are using to express the possibility. Please try to understand. And here, if it comes to he, third person singular, he, she, it, Rama, Krishna, Gopal, Radha, anybody excepting I. Right? He will go. उसे जाना है. उसे जाना है, जाएगा या नहीं जाएगा मालूम नहीं है. He shall go. उसे जाना ही पड़ेगा. वो जाएगा, he will go, वो जाएगा, वो जाएगा, मगर जाएगा क्या? डाउटफुल। मगर जाना ही है, ही शall go, जाना ही है, under compulsion he goes there. Right? Here, possibility I am talking, when it comes here, it becomes compulsion. He shall go. Compulsorily he should have to go. And what is this possibility? What is this compulsion? These are nothing but expression of attitude. We are expressing the attitude of the person by using these verbs, and so these verbs are called as modal verbs. We should understand. Why? We are speaking English, we are writing English, and I have seen many students asking, can I drink water, sir? Can I drink water, sir? And here they said more formal and less formal. What is more formal and what is less formal? Now it is a request with less formality. Can I drink water, sir? Can shows the capacity, ability. Can I drink water? If a person asks me, how do I know whether he can or not? How does it become a request? How does it become a permission? And they say it is a less formal permission, seeking permission. So it is ability, again attitude. Again attitude, can usage. Now will and shall with I and he, we have seen how they differ in usage and in meaning also we have seen. Now can and could. Can talks about ability. I could go there. Does it speak about the ability? No. I could go there is a very feeble possibility. I could go there. Right? I can go there. It talks about the capacity or ability of my going over there. Likewise, these two uses differs in respect of expressing of your attitude. And so these two fall under your modal verbs. I can go there, it is never a future tense. It talks about the capacity. And again, if you comes to would, I would go there. I will go there, it has a very great impact on going and on me. I'll have to. I would go there, when it comes to I would go there, the impact has been reduced completely. And so it is talking about the attitude, very reduced attitude. Would means almost the usage of could and would same. And now may. I may go there. And it has an inclusive, what is it called, negation over there. I may not go there. I may go there. When I say this, at the same moment, I am telling the person concerned, I may not go there. Possibility, I may go there. Right? When it comes to possibility, next word is there, impossibility is also there. So I may go there when I say it may be possible, it may be impossible. We talk about possibility. And this very same may, we are using in expression of attitude. Where are we using it is granting permission. You may go there. We are sanctioning the permission. You may come in. Not that you can come in. No. You may please. Suppose a person of your cadre or hired to you, as a formality, he seeks permission, then you cannot say, you may come. No. You may please come in. You may please come. That way, the permission granted in a may and with a please we can put, and permission can be granted in both the manners. not that you can. You may please. Please do. In the place of may, we can put please do. Please you may. That way, the expression of may talks about the granting of permission, allowing somebody, right? And seeking permission also. May I come in? May I drink water? May I get this book? Can I take this book? How do I know whether you can or not? What is your capacity? I don't know. Then, may I take this book? That is called seeking permission. With may. When it comes to must, I must go there. I must read this. I must complete this. I must teach you. When this must comes, it falls under a compulsion. Must, should. These two are the words which show the modality of expression of attitude, compulsion. And along with that, we have certain words here. Ought to, O-U-G-H-T here. Ought to, have to, is to, am to, ought to. These are all compulsion. You ought to go there. Means I am commanding him that he should go there. Should and ought to. Should, am to. Should, is to. Should, ought to. That way this must, should, ought to, have to, is to, am to and ought to, these all, they show the compulsion. He has to do it. There is no other go. That is also the talk about the expression of your attitude. Means you have to do it. There is no other go. No escape. You should. That way it comes. Now again might. This might again, I might go there. I may go there. It may be a bit strong possibility. I might go there. It talks about I would go there and I could go there. I might go there. Means this could, would and might, these three are past tenses of can, will and your may and must. These three things act in the same manner. That is very weak possibility they talk about. So these are all the things we have to keep in mind when we are using these modals and when we are using the expression. Verb we can use. A right word, a right verb in a right place also we can use. But unless it gives a meaning of expression, attitude, then our usage of that verb is deviated, lost. And hence we should know the modals, how to express them, where to use it. In a short I have shown you, I will go differs from I shall go. And again here, will, he will go differs from he shall go. Here, I will go and he shall go gives a possible, positive possibility. I shall go and he will go gives a negative possibility. Where to use what, in what connection, that to usage of the verb, that is comes under modals usage and expressing the attitude.